There we go.
All right, here we go. Recording is started, so you guys will get access to the recording. So I'll answer that question right up front. I know we're going to have a lot of questions here, but this we're going to keep this contained to just how to install the program and how to run the program. I know a bunch of you guys are wanting to know how to sell it. That's not what this training is for. We'll all address that in a different level. And we've got Chris on here. I know Connie and I have fielded a bunch of questions over the last week. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I hadn't had a chance to get in and even use the program yet. I got in there this morning and I followed Chris's instruction video and it worked exactly as he had laid it out. So any of you that were having trouble, I'm pretty sure you didn't watch that video. And if you watched the video, I'm pretty sure you didn't do what the video told you to do. Because I did simple step by step, went through the whole thing, and there was no flaws. So I'm pretty sure that it is working as of now. But that said, that video's in there. We're going to do this one that, may have a little more detail or what have you. But what we have up is fully functioning and operational. So you should have no problem bringing on sites, however many, you guys have purchased. Some got the just the one level, some of you got the 10 pack, and some of you got the agency model. Another thing, moving forward, you guys that got the agency model, we are going to be supporting that on a different level than the others. The other levels are for people that are doing it for themselves, and that's great. No problem. We will support you to that level. But I'm not fielding a bunch of sales questions for people that bought a single model and the prospecting and all that stuff. If you're going to be an agency, be an agency. Get in. If you're tire kicking, that's fine, but you get to kick the tires at a certain level. So I just want to address that stuff because honestly, I don't have time to deal with the tire kicker stuff. If you guys are at that level, that's great. Go ahead and do that. But you're going to get the support of us, on the sales level at the agency level. So just to be clear on that. All
But
right.
on a
So
technical level, you'll get support on the individuals as well. So you
absolutely.
full support there.
But I am, from here on out, I am going to refer you back to the videos to watch those. There's no reason for our support team to be hand holding things that are already done and completed. So I would ask you guys, please watch the step-by-step video and do what it says. If you run into a problem, that's fine. We have no problem addressing any problems. But I don't know about Chris and Connie, but I don't like chasing ghosts. So let's not have too many ghosts as we go through this process. So, all right. So that said, Chris, I'm gonna let you kind of take the reins. I want to commend you for doing a phenomenal job on putting this together and the training video as well, because it all worked.
All right. Well, there you go. It worked for John, so we're good to go. For everyone else, no, I'm just kidding. No, actually, we work on this every day, and we're improving it and adding new features and stuff like that. In fact, from when I recorded that video until now, it's actually different in an amazingly good way, and I'm going to show you exactly that today. So let me go ahead and start out by sharing my screen. And I can't wait to show you this because this is really, really cool. So before, we had it so that like when you would start a new project, what would happen is you would have to like start the project and then you would like make sure it finished properly and then go to the next page, make sure it finished properly and then go to the next one in like this right here. So you would have the initial scan, make sure all the pages were scanned properly, and then you go look at the page vault and say, okay, that looks like it all got saved. This you can just pretty much ignore, just go past this one because this is for later, that kind of a thing. But then you go right to your general analysis and then you wait for that to get done. That could be like 5 minutes sometimes because there's a mass amount of analysis that happens there. And then this looks good. It always looks good. There's really we haven't had very many problems here at all that I can think of. Then it goes right into AI analysis and then SEO analysis. And so basically you've had to kind of babysit it so far. I'm sure you've all kind of experienced that a little bit. Now, the babysitting ends today because 5 minutes ago we completed the process of automating this entire analysis process with 2 clicks. So we're going to do that right now. Click number one is actually, it's probably 3 clicks. No, let me see. Click number one, add a website. So we're going to go down here. We're going to add the website in here and we're going to do Peoria cafes. I just looked for a cafe that didn't have too many pages. That's why I chose this one. And this is on the other side of town. And yeah, so I just kind of chose this one because this one has like, I don't know, like maybe 10, 15 pages, something like that. So it's not a big site. Um, then here's the click number two. Let's get started. Okay, now we're just going to wait for this to finish right here, the initial scan. So we're going to see, okay, it found 12 pages pretty quick here at 2 levels. So we'll see if it finds any more. Oh, it didn't find any more. So that was really quick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh this page because I want to show you what's actually happening behind the scenes. So right now, it is working on the general analysis without us doing anything. And so it takes about 3 minutes or so for the general analysis to take place. So I'm just going to stay right here on this page. I'm not even going to touch it because I don't want to go to the general analysis page because I wrote some code in here that if you go to that page, it'll kick it off. And I don't want that to trigger, which is cool in and of itself. So like if you want to jump in there, it's just like it starts going if it hasn't started yet. But let's just give it a minute here to see. Okay, now the general analysis is done. Now what it's doing is it's starting the AI analysis and the SEO analysis. So let's just give it a minute because this analysis is much faster than the general. So I'm going to refresh it one more time. Look at that. It's 50% done. So it's almost done with these two right here. It's running them simultaneously. So we'll give it another kick here in just a minute, see when it gets done. Look at that. Boom. You didn't have to touch it all. And the reason why we did this is not just so we don't have to babysit it because it's fun the first time. The 10th time, not so fun, right? So, but it's interesting to see the process as it goes along because it's fascinating how it works. But really what it comes down to it is that we're in here to analyze websites pretty quickly. And the way that we do that is we put in the URL and we walk away and we're productive, we're answering emails, we're doing whatever we're doing. And then we're like, 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, or next day, or whatever it happens to be, you come back and this is all done. And the reason why we stop right here at analysis is because we want you to choose which level of reporting that you want to do at this point. You might want to do a basic report, you might want to do an advanced level report. Just depends on who your audience is. So this only takes a minute, doesn't take long at all. In fact, we'll just do a basic report real quick. We'll kick this off. And then at that point, we still don't want to do the FAQ and the schema generators yet because nobody's committed to pay you for it yet, right? So we don't want to go through and do this amount of work right here because this is very expensive. So this right here will cost between $4 and $7 to run just these two things right here. Well, really, it's these two things and the general analysis. Those three things combined is like between $4 and $7. So, and that's just compute and AI work. So that's the cost on it. So we try to hold off on this until the client says, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do this." Okay, now is when we need the FAQ generator and the schema generator. And these here only take about 2 minutes each. It doesn't take a long time to create those. You can just jump right in and you click on generate all FAQs and it just rips them all out. So it's real simple. So that being said, we'll wait for this to finish the report here. Okay. So now you can see it just takes like a couple minutes to do the report and then it's all kind of ready to go here. And then you can come down here to the bottom and here's your executive summary. This is typically what you're going to send out to a client to view. So let me download this. We'll take a look at it together. Okay, so this is what it looks like right here. I still need to do a little bit of work on here because there's supposed to be an image right here, and sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't. I haven't figured out why. but this is white labeled right here. So it says it's prepared by Traffic Oxygen. So I have the agency account and I've white labeled it to this company name, and it's prepared for Peoria cafes. And we come down here as a table of contents, comes down here to an executive review with the results right here. And basically this is just like a report card. It tells them exactly like what we analyzed right here and some immediate actions. So there's 22 critical deficiencies right here. So this is supposed to kind of like allow you to point it out to say, we don't want this red box here at all, but this red box is here because you have a lot of problems. All right. So that's how you kind of start the conversation. And then in here, here's all the problems in here that it's gonna point out. There's fails, there's warnings and failures in here. There's some bad failures and there's some good failures, that kind of thing. And then this is typically what you're going to send out to the client, right? Now, that being said, we're gonna be building a whole new set of reports in here as well. So right now we have basic, intermediate, and advanced, and these are typically used like before the project starts and when the project ends. So you can see a before and after. So like when you do all the work, you want to say, okay, remember our first report, it had 22 critical deficiencies, right? And then when you get all the work done, you can say, now there's only two, and we know what those are, and we're just going to let them fly because they're not that important. It's not worth your money for us to do the work. It's just not going to make that big of a difference. So we're going to accept those failures and know that the other 20 got done successfully, and that is like 99% there. And 99% is good enough for what we're doing. So that's the purpose behind these. Now, what if you have a larger client? Like I have a client right now that has 500 pages that we're manually doing. We're actually going out there, we're literally copying the FAQs, pasting in the website because it's not a WordPress website. It's a custom build. So we don't have the luxury of just automating the process of putting in like WordPress is working. And so we're working through the process, and week by week, it's going to take us about a month to finish it. And the reason we're doing that is because we're doing some other stuff. We're doing SEO and some other things along the way. So each page takes about an hour to do. And so as the team is going through and doing that, they're keeping track on the FAQ generators. They're marking them as being completed and all that kind of stuff. So we can kind of keep track on what's going on. But what we found out, is we need interim reports to show progress reports, right? So we're going to build in some progress reports here in case you guys land a big client that's not WordPress, because WordPress is like, boink, automatically done. It's like it just works, right? Um, but these progress reports are going to be in the same area right here. So the reporting in here, you're just going to see additional reports start showing up here, and you have different options. And the first one that we're going to build is a progress report, and it'll just take a snapshot in time. And what it will do is it'll go here to the FAQ generator and the schema generator. And as if you've gone through here and you have here, let's just go ahead and I don't want to add a custom FAQ. This is new, by the way. We'll take a look at this. Um, but what I want to do is I want to regenerate this one. So just give it a second to finish. Okay, so if we have these FAQs in here and we finish it, we want to mark this as completed. Now, when it's marked as completed right here, it's the status is now done. And so now we have done, we have pending, and we have not generated. So those are the three statuses. And so this status right here is going to be marked as done in the progress report, and the ones that are pending are going to be marked as pending, so that it can kind of give the business owner an idea of like how much you've gotten done over the week, or the period, whatever it is between when you started and when you run this project or this progress report. Now, when you run progress reports, it's going to be iterative. So like it'll keep the last one and build the next one and build the next one, and it'll have dates so you can tell like when they were run, so that you can keep them and you can look at your own progress over time. So we're not going to, you'll be able to delete those if you want to, but we're going to save them by default so that you can keep track of the project. So hopefully you guys are stumbling on a bunch of WordPress sites, and you could just, you know, 5 clicks and it's put out on the entire website. John, you just went through this this morning. What was your experience on installing the WordPress and then making all of the making all of the FAQs and the schema and everything like show up on the whole site?
It really took probably about 10 minutes.
Really? Okay.
I uploaded the plugin, I activated the plugin. I actually had to go back because I was sitting there stuck going, why isn't this thing working?
Uh-huh.
And, and I went back and I saw, oh, I have to click the sync button.
Okay.
So once I clicked the sync button, it brought everything in and it generated all the FAQs on the pages. And I know in the video you're using Divi.
Mm-hmm.
I use Beaver Builder, but I
Yep.
took the same snippet, the what do they call that? The little code to put the
Yeah,
pages
the short
in.
code.
Short code, yeah.
Mhm.
So I copied the short code. I went down to the footer in Beaver Builder and I added another row above the footer, pasted that in, centered it, and boom, showed up on every page.
hmm
It
And we
was
built and
really cool.
tested it for the five top platforms. We tested it for Beaver Builder, we tested it for Divi, we tested it for Elementor, and then two others as well. I can't remember what those are, but they're the if you like literally type in the top page builders, those are the ones that we
Yeah.
we optimize for.
Probably WP
So
Bakery or
Bakery is one of them. Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
got optimized press on there?
Optimize. We didn't test that one. No, but it should work though. Like when we went through, we didn't do anything different for any other site.
Okay.
So, which is really good because what we did is we tested it, and all we did is exactly what John did, which is we just placed the short code wherever it needed to be, and it just like magically showed up with all of the different page builders. So it looks like it's kind of universal.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
you have optimized press, I'd love to see your results on that. If you have one that you can play around with and be able to test it on, just shoot
I've
me
been
a quick
playing with
note.
mine on
Yeah.
Simple Easy websites, so I'll let you know on mine Optimized Press as well.
All right,
Okay.
great, great.
I'm
Quick
pretty sure
technical
it's
question.
it's the same code.
Is the is Optimancer actually loading and rendering the pages? Is it
No.
great? It's not. Okay, so it's pulling it from a table on the back end, like
Yeah,
the
so what I did is I add two tables into your WordPress build and I populate those tables all at one time. So basically when you bring it in, it populates the tables. That way, whenever it renders, it pulls it directly from the table. So if Optimancer is down for whatever reason, it's not a dependency on that showing up or not. It's like local on that website.
gotcha. Okay.
Now, you need to know there's a caveat on that. Whenever every week we go out and we check to see that it's active, that it's up to date because we change this stuff all the time. Like for instance, the analysis changes on a pretty regular basis as we learn more. Sometimes we learn that we can optimize this and make it better. Sometimes they're brand new things that we bring in here as we learn and grow and the whole industry evolves kind of a thing. We've learned a lot from SEM Rush and a few others that things that they look at that we didn't really consider. We're like, oh, that's really good. So we've been able to bring in a few extra things there that are very meaningful. And that being said, we allow you to kind of rerun this whole process, rerun the FAQs and the schema generator when it makes sense, and it'll automatically bring that in and populate it on the website once a week. So you don't have to do anything. It's just all automated. Now, here's another cool thing. If that customer stops paying you and you pause their account, the next time it goes to update, it wipes out their database and everything is gone on their site. We don't uninstall the plugin or anything like that. It's really not that important, but all the data goes away, so now they're not optimized anymore. So they're dependent on you every week for that check-in. It's almost like, like when you get out of prison and you have your ankle bracelet on and you have to check in with your parole officer. I know a lot of you guys can really relate to that. It's exactly like that. You have to check in with the parole officer every week, and if it's not there, boom, you're back in jail again. To them, it's like, they're back to the bottom of the heap, kind of thing because they're not optimized. So anyway, just want to let you know that you have that working for you. And if you want to keep it on, don't pause the account. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, well, I know that they're a good company and they're always a little bit behind on their payments. Let's give them another few weeks or whatever. Just don't pause their account and it'll just keep going just like normal. But the second you pause the account, the next time it checks, they're off. Okay.
Also, Before we move on, can you click on the tools and training and just show them where to get the plugin and the video that we're talking about?
Oh, sure. So let's go here under this WordPress plugin right here. So I went to the top under the tools and training, and right here, the very first item, I put it right at the top so that it's always the first thing to take a look at. Here's the training video right here. And it's very much like what we just went through here. It's a little bit more in depth. So I encourage you to go here and watch this right here, because I talk about a lot of the whys, like why we do certain things all the way through here, what to look for, and we'll go through that a little bit today as well. But go ahead and check this out right here. It's not a very long video. It's not super long. And then here is the latest WordPress plugin. If you click on this, it'll always be the most recent one. Now, once you get it installed, it updates itself if you choose to. So like when you install it, it has that little thing on the right side that says enable auto updated. So that's an option in there. If you choose that, it'll just keep updating itself all on its own once it's in the website. But here you can be confident that it's always going to be the latest build when it comes out. Um, all right, so that's right here under tools and training, resources, and then WordPress right here. Now, the API references in here, the best way to look at your API, because you're going to need your API key, is under account settings right here. And you can see API and integration. So every single website that you run in here has its own API key. And this is how we can tell like which account to pull the FAQs and the schema and stuff from, right? All the parameters. So right here, you just copy this, or you just click on here. It'll copy it to the clipboard. And this one is for WP Optimancer right here. Like our link that I just ran this morning, it doesn't have an API key yet because I just ran it this morning. And also the one, the PRA Cafe is right here. So we're going to click on create an API key. And here it is. So basically, then you can just copy that. And then when you close it, it's going to be available here for you to come back anytime and just kind of copy that if you need to, put it back in for whatever reason. So that's about it. You can also download the plugin from right here. We put it on the same page so you don't have to bounce around too much. Again, this one is the latest version. Um, if if you have um, if you have the agency, you automatically download the white label version. If you have the pro, then you automatically download the non-white label version. And the non-white label just means it says Optimancer on it in a few different areas. That's the only difference. It's not crippled. It doesn't function differently, nothing like that. It just reveals that you're using Optimancer at the pro level. And the reason we do that is it's not to penalize anybody, but it's because these are your existing clients typically. If you're on a pro account, in fact, let's talk about the different account levels. And this is the way
What
John
do you
and
do with
I
the what do you do with the API key? It's a pain in, and I'm not sure where.
Oh, it's in the when you install WordPress, and this is all on the video. You can just watch it. There's a place to put the API key in as soon as you install it, and then it basically syncs up everything and brings in all the data. Sorry, I missed that part. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's just the connection between your WordPress site and the Optimancer program.
Yep. And it's like an authorization key. So if you are at the very beginning level, and it's basically you just get one account. That's basically so you can optimize your own website, and that's made for like business owners, people who just want to kick the tires, just kind of see how it works. Run it once or twice, that kind of thing. And so that's at the beginning level. There's really no marketing for that because basically you're just using it for yourself, right? So that's the practical reason why we don't support marketing at that level because it's not a marketing product. And also for the WordPress right here, it doesn't matter because you already know it's Optimancer because you signed up for it. And so you don't need to hide it from yourself. So really the white label is not, it just doesn't play a role in the first level. The second level, it really doesn't play a role either because the second level, you've got what, like 10 accounts. Typically, these are agencies who have close relationships with a few clients, right? And if you have these close relationships, nobody cares if they use third-party products. They know already that you're not a software developer. Not a big surprise. So basically having the word Optimancer in the plugin, it's like nobody cares at that point, right? They're just like, oh yeah, this is the AI tool that my SEO company or my website building company uses to optimize my website. So everybody kind of understands that. So just really at a real practical level, it's just really not needed. At the agency level, that's when it starts to expand and you start talking with new people that don't really know you. You don't have a relationship with them, but they're intrigued. And you're one of the only people out there that's offering AI optimization for websites. And so they're like, oh, okay. At that point, you want to keep them close. You don't want them knowing about Optimancer at that point because then they can go buy it themselves. They don't need you, right? So to avoid that, we white label it and there's no mention whatsoever on Optimancer at all. When you install it, it says AI optimization. When you look at the left menu, it says AI optimization. And when you get on the page, it says AI optimization on the page. So basically, it's very generic and it allows you to maintain that confidentiality between Optimancer and your agency. And so that's really why we structured it the way that we did. It's less in the fact that we want more money or we want more. It's like that really didn't even come into the conversation. It's what do we need here to support the different levels kind of thing. So I just want to kind of throw that out there just to let you know kind of like how we're talking about it on our side and why we structured it the way that we did. Okay. So anything specific that you guys want to go over? So I'm all yours. So let's open it up to questions. If you want to
There's
dive into any of these right here, we can definitely do that. So go ahead and hit me up.
there's another one that keeps coming up of like if the accounts get stuck, how long do you let them
Uh,
run before you just delete it and start over?
yeah, so basically, let me give you a time frame. Let me just go to the general analysis. So basically, with general analysis, this one takes about 4 or 5 minutes to do, maybe not quite that long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to finish on here. If you're 10 minutes in and this hasn't finished working, click on this refresh analysis again, and it should kick off and do that again. Now, if you do this again and it still isn't analyzing, then what I would recommend doing is just going all the way back to the very beginning. And if you look at these three dots up here in the right corner, I know they're kind of small, but if you click on it, you can delete this project. So I didn't mean to make this hidden, but I put the big delete button up here and it just looked ugly. So I'm telling, I just want to kind of hide it a little bit so it's not so ugly. But basically, this is how you delete the project. Feel free to just start it over again if it gets kind of hung up. And then it should just kind of like float all the way through because there's just something that got hung up on it. One thing that we're cognizant, I want to throw this out there. We haven't seen it yet, but there are certain websites out there that have very strict parameters as far as like keeping bots out, right? We haven't been detected as a bot yet. But if you run into that, please reach out and let us know, like, hey, we found a website that blocked us because we can't get the initial scan to work at all. If you bump into one of those, please let us know because we haven't found one yet, but we need to find one so that
Yeah,
we can
I'm
go
up
and we
at
can like
a
try some
403.
different things.
I'm getting a 403 myself. Maybe from Cloudflare.
Okay. So yeah, Cloudflare is one of them that like if it has certain settings on there, they're really good at blocking bots and stuff like that. So if you bump into one of those, is that you, Trav, that was saying that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I think I might have remuted myself. Yeah, I mean, I'm going through Cloudflare and a server-side firewall. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you might want to build a little Cloudflare API to whitelist your IPs, or even if you just have a list. Like if you can get me a list of the Optimancer IPs, I can do it myself. But
That's a great idea because you can white label those on the Cloudflare side. And what we can do is we can set it up with like a little video because if you're anything like me, you only bump into it once in a while and you always forget like where to go to do it. So I might record just like a little 30-second video saying, okay, when you get to Cloudflare, click this, and it's right here, kind of a thing. You're like, oh yeah, and then you can just paste it in and go kind of thing. So yeah, Trav, if you got one, let's work together and make sure we can get that going, and then we'll record a quick video because I'm a heavy user of I think I have over 200 sites on my Cloudflare account,
yeah.
so I'm a heavy user of Cloudflare.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there's the
I got a question for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed this. I'm trying to get my computer set up so I can be part of this group. all the time, and I don't want to miss any of these calls. And I came in late, but one of the issues I know you had fixed my dashboard here the other
Mhm.
day, Chris.
Yep.
And I didn't know why. What happened? Can you explain what happened on that? Is that something that everybody should know what the fix could be when it doesn't come up
Yeah.
like that and you run into a problem? Because that's one. The second part of that question would be the same in my website. When I see you set the website up, or not this dashboard here, but in the back of your website, and you put download your plugin, you should sort of see the same dashboard in there, correct?
The dashboard doesn't look the same. I can show you what the dashboard looks like. Let me show
Yeah, but mine doesn't come up at all. Then nothing comes up, and I deleted it and came up and so forth. You know what I mean? But yeah, show me what the back office of the dashboard in a WordPress site looks like
you.
because
Got it.
mine doesn't have any of that. It doesn't sync. In other words, you describe in the plugin after you upload it, download it that put your API in and then hit sync. I don't have a sync except it's wants you to put a Chrome sync in or something.
Okay, I don't know about Chrome. That might be something on your browser. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and take a look at this right here. So I'm going to go to AI optimization, and there's two sections in here. There's a settings
Mhm.
and an optimization
Yeah,
page.
yeah, mine don't come up with that at all. Yeah.
So you don't get either of those?
No,
Hmm.
I have uploaded the plugin. I'll give you if you want. I'll send you the login. You can look at it. But
Yeah, if you want to hit me up afterwards, that's kind of strange.
yeah, so because I watched this whole back. Like, geez, how come mine ain't showing that? And,
Yeah,
and I thought it was something to do with. I thought it was something to do with first in the main dashboard that you fixed and needed that to be operated before you do this. But
yeah.
how I took it is that you could do a plugin and do all this within the WordPress site as long as you put the API in. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the thing you're going to want to do here is make sure, let me see, where's AI optimization? Let me see here. Okay, here's the Optimancer right here. So
Yeah.
basically with this one right here, just make sure it's activated in here because
Okay.
if it's not activated, it'll
That's
look
not
like this right
clickable
here.
for me. Yeah, mine said off. That's why I figured it's not working. But I couldn't click that on where it says auto updates on and
Yeah.
it's red. Mine just is stuck where it's a blank hole there. Like
Okay. So let's work on that together. Maybe there's like a conflict with another plugin or something like that. You can see I
okay,
have a bunch in here.
no problem.
But let's take a look at that together because every time that we have a problem like this, I learn more and I can optimize our plugin so that it avoids those problems. So I know how to get a hold of you, Darren. So
Yep.
I'll reach out to you after we're done here. We can set something up in
No
just
problem, no
5 or 10
problem.
minutes.
That was the biggest thing because I wanted to get that information to you guys as quick as possible. And then I
Yeah.
also realized that this was never this is somewhat the first call for this particular plugin or this particular service, correct?
No, we went over this before.
Yep,
But
yep,
we're still new in the game though. I mean, we're like a
okay.
week into it, you know? So it's
Yep,
like we're still at the starting point. But here's the question, which is where do you put the API key? If you go
yep.
here under AI optimization and you click on settings, it's right here where it says paste your website API key here. So when you put it in here, it'll show immediately that you're connected. So this is your like right when before you put it in, it'll say not connected in red, and then it'll turn to green. And then you can actually delete the API key right here. You can revoke it because sometimes you want to swap it out. So we allow you to like update your API key to something different. Like for instance, if they're hacked or something like that, you just want to recycle the API key, you just redo it on the Optimancer platform. I'll show you here.
If you don't mind, one more question back to that, what you were just showing on the
Yep.
API. It could be benefit for everybody, what I saw happen when you were talking the API. When you put the API key in and you
Mhm.
go down a little bit farther, the LLSM,
Oh, yes.
I put that in. I see how you do a video and you upload the text and so forth. But the question I had was, um, you had fixed and updated my website the other day, so everything seemed great on the dashboard. When I put that in, I had that in there and saved. But when I pulled up a report in our main back office, it showed in the report that that wasn't active.
Well, the thing is, and I think you already figured this out.
Okay.
When you put this in here, we don't like constantly watch it. Like as soon as this is uploaded, it's like boom, our software knows.
Hmm.
But what we do is in here, and I'll show you exactly where it is. and I think you did this because I went and I looked at your account and it was showing in your general analysis. So it looks like you did this, but you can tell me if you remember doing this or not. But down here at the very bottom is the LLMS.txt file. Let me see here. Just because someone's working with, let's say, the CIA. Right here, present. Now, when I ran this before, when we first started, it showed just like this. It wasn't there. But now if you look at your general, it shows 100% that it's there. And I actually went back to your website and I searched on the link that your LLMS is, and it did come up. And I was excited to see it. It was pretty cool.
Right, yeah, and I was too. What you're saying, but that's why I'm saying I'm still not. It wasn't showing up on the report. In other words, I might have to go and look at this again. But
Yep.
when I ran a basic report, I just ran it this a little while ago, a basic report.
Hmm.
So we already know, and you just confirmed that that is present in my account. But in my basic report, it showed it wasn't.
So what you're going to want to do here is here. Let me take one step back. So what Darren did is he saw that this wasn't there. He's like, no, but I put it in. You just click right here on run again, and it'll reanalyze just this one thing. So you don't have to go in here and mess around with it. And in his case, it went out there, found it, came back and said, yep, you're 100%. Now, when you go to your reporting, if you ran a previous report like we just did right here, it's not going to be in this report. So just go ahead and click on generate another report, and another one will show up. That's the one where it'll show that it's existing.
Okay, okay, those little tricks are important to
Yep.
understand. To
That's
refresh
why we're
my-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. That's good. And I love these questions because it means you're in it. You're like, you're exercising the software and you're learning how to use it. And there's a lot of like reasons why we don't automate certain things. That may be a reason that we should automate a new report, but maybe you're updating 5 or 10 things and you're like, okay, when I get the 10th one done, then I'm going to run a report and send it to the client. So that's why we don't really like rerun the reports when one thing changes. So we kind of give you a little bit more control, but it just takes a little bit of practice is to know like when to kick things off.
And I
But
had okay, now I'm thinking, okay, I had a lot of questions, but one other important question I found
huh?
that might be very helpful to think about is I like the idea when you had explained that we're going to have access to a client's back office or their WordPress to be able to put the plugin in to have this operate correctly, correct?
Not necessarily. You can send the plugin to a client and have it send it to the Word or the WordPress developer, whoever that is.
Yeah.
They can install it as long as you give them the API key. They can install it and put the API key in. Now, you can't undo like where the FAQs are. You can't control like where the short codes are placed unless you have access to the website for sure.
Okay, so you're going to need access to the website to do certain things down
Hmm.
the road. Now, what thing I was thinking about, you said, which I love it as a security thing, if they're paying monthly or doing something, you say you can actually turn it off.
Yeah.
Now, what I was worried about, and me thinking, because I'm thinking if somebody did it to me, I'd be pissed off too about that. But I also, it's sort of like a scare tactic to make sure they stay on with you. But
Mhm.
they can look at the plugin and see it. Is there any way to hide that once it's installed, the plugin's hidden? Can
No,
they?
you can't really hide the plugin, but let me give you some verbiage around why we remove it. The reason why we remove it is because we need to get paid for our work. And every month we're looking at their account, we're updating it, we're actually doing stuff for them on the back end and constantly updating. Now, one reason why we remove it as well is because we don't want to put incorrect information or old information on their website and penalize them for it. So to prevent them from getting penalized for old information, just like putting it out there and leaving it forever, which is not a good thing, especially in a environment that we're in right now where it's a massive, growth and change period right now as we're all like learning and getting used to AI and stuff like that. It's like we're on a very steep trajectory. If we leave that on their website, it could really hurt them. And so if they come back and say, that's not, we paid for this and all that, and you're like, we took it off to protect you. We didn't take it off to penalize you. Because if we leave that on there, then you can come back in a month from now and or 2 months from now or 6 months from now and say, you put this on my website and it got us banned and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, it was relevant 6 months ago. You left it on there. It avoids that whole problem. So it doesn't have to be perceived as a penalty or something negative. It's a protective mechanism for them.
Okay. And
So
and and still with that type of talking about that situation, being a customer client or handling that, um, how I see that is if somebody cancels, right, and they lock you out of their back office,
mhm.
you won't have access. But you say, I see you can turn it, you can disable it within your dashboard, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Right. So they would still have it. Now, the other thing is they're going to see the plugin and it's going to be the optimizer plugin. That's what it's called, correct?
If it's at the pro level, it'll say optimizer. Like the one that you just saw right here, this is not the white labeled version. So let me show you what it looks like on a non-white labeled version. So you can see that it says AI optimization here, doesn't say optimizer. You can see on this whole page, it doesn't say I'm sorry, I say optimizer. It says Optimancer right here.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's not like big and bold, And I think that's the only reference to it here. But if you go to the plugins page, the installed plugins, it does say Optimancer on the plugin itself, Optimancer WP.
Okay. Okay. And that's
So
what I'm
that's the
saying.
only, those are the only references. So it's not like,
Well, the reason why I say this is
Mhm.
because if say I think about it, say it happened to me, I would go back and find out somebody that has an optimizer plugin and maybe work with them. Say they don't want to work with you,
Yep,
right? Now they're going to go find somebody that has that same plugin, hypothetically, if they know what it is, and they're going to go maybe do business with them and take it away from us. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's sort of like you say it's a white label type thing. I'm hypothetical. I'm just giving you a thought. Throwing do whatever you want. Could it say your company? Could it rename that plugin your company's name? Even though it does the same thing, it's the optimizer plugin, but it's going to be the company, whoever's company is giving them the plugin. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, we can't really do that because that means we'd have to make a new build for each company to put their name in there and stuff like
Okay.
that. It gets a little
Okay.
janky. Yeah.
Or even just change that, what you said, take those couple of little references out. So it's a little harder for the people to figure out who we are and what plugin we're using.
Yeah, if you want them to not figure it out, use the white label version and they can never see it. It just says AI optimization and all of a sudden, boom, it's broken. They're like,
I must have that then. That's what it says. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
All
All
right,
right.
guys, let's keep this just to the program. This isn't about the reselling and running this as a business. This is about running the program itself. And I know you got on late, Darren, but we're going to try and keep this training just to the plugin itself, installing it, running it, and all that. I'll cover all the business stuff in another one for all the people that are on the agency level, and we'll get deeper into those kind of things on that. But one of the things that a lot of people are asking is the API key. The
Mm.
API key is just for the WordPress plugin currently. And another thing that spawns off of that question is, does this work for non-WordPress sites? And absolutely. The only thing that the WordPress plugin gives you is the ability to automate the process in WordPress. But you could take all of these FAQs, you could plug them into a Shopify site or any other site outside of WordPress. Same thing with the LLMS file. Same thing with the schema generator. You can generate all those codes, copy and paste into any website you want. So you don't need to use the API, you don't need to use WordPress, but if you've got a WordPress site, they make it just super simple. So, and that again, I will address that in like prospecting and who you should be shooting for and how much you should be charging for the different things. I'll address that in a different training. So, Richard, go ahead. We'll hit you and Diane and Kate. You guys have had your hands up for a while, so go ahead.
Thank you. The first question is probably never, if ever, but the reports that you come out are a little bit generic. And being a publisher, is there ever going to be a time when we'll be able to customize those reports in terms of putting our own stuff in there, or is there a way to download the basic information so we can put it in our own framework and that sort of stuff?
You could always copy the stuff into Word for Windows and do whatever you want with it.
Mhm.
Oh, it's in Word for Windows form.
Well, no, what you can do is you can convert a PDF file to Word. There's free services, literally just say PDF to Word conversion, and then there's free services out there. You can just drop it in there, it'll give you a Word document back.
Yeah, that's in Acrobat. It does that itself. The
Yep,
other thing
Acrobat will do that too.
is the progress bars. You're talking about and maybe a little bit more clarification on what exactly your progress you're doing. But from what I heard you say, my understanding was that okay, you're going to get a list of things to get done, and then you're going to be able to run a report and say, okay, these are missing, and these are the ones that we've handled, and then these are the ones that we've handled, and that sort of thing. Have I
Hmm.
got that much correct?
That's correct. So like you can see right here, this is on the schema side right here. You can copy the schema and you can mark it as complete. Sometimes you want to ignore it because there's certain pages that you may not want this on. Like for instance, you may not want schema um on the what do they call that? The terms and conditions and privacy policy. That might not be appropriate. It might be. It's not going to hurt anything, but you might not want it there. I can't think of a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want schema on a page. Now, FAQs is a really good
Where do
explanation.
where do you specify what page that you're creating the schema for?
They're right here. Here's all your pages.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
that's on
So
the
it'll
terms.
create FAQs and schema for every single page.
Okay. And then you're going to talk about the
Now, it
FAQs.
doesn't hurt to create it here, but really what you want to do is you want to make sure that when it gets to the website, that you don't have FAQ pages like on your blog. You know how like you have a blog page and it has like a list of all the blogs? You don't need FAQs on that page.
Yeah.
Like on the contact us page, you don't need an FAQ on that page, right? So there's a few things, and that's why we built in the functionality right here. Whoops, under the AI optimization, right here, so that you can disable certain ones. Like right here, the contact us page doesn't have an FAQ on here. And also right here, this one's an about us page. No, the FAQ is blocked on this one. I think there's one more. Yeah. The testimonials. We didn't want an FAQ on the testimonials page. That didn't make sense either. So you can block the schema the same way. You just click on this and it'll just not display the schema on this page. So this is really the control right here. Now, when you're doing it manually, you just skip the page, right? You just don't manually put it on there. But here, we have to do this because it's all automated.
Okay. Then with the other thing with regard to progress, and one of the things I really like is the combination of the Venn diagram between SEO and the AIO, because one's for people, one's for machines. So they're completely opposite, and yet they still overlap in some areas. So that
Yeah.
whole discussion, the one thing, the progress that I don't see in here yet, and I think I asked about it once before. If I'm doing SEO, I can run an SEO report and I can give them a report and tell them, if they're going up or down, what page they're on, and that sort of stuff. Right now, this does not have a way of, even after you do all this, there's no way to track, okay, we weren't showing up, 2 weeks ago, but now we're starting to show up in the responses that are coming up on the
Hmm.
search engines. And the question I have with regard, is that something you're going to try and build out? Because I just understand John likes SEM Rush. I sent him an email on it. They supposedly can. The only way I thought you could do that is literally have to track every damn response window on the internet. And apparently SEM Rush tracks a couple
I
million of
don't
them
know
or
how they
something.
do it, but they've cracked that nut.
Is there a way that we could work a deal to API that information into this thing, or is that just something we run? We have to have both programs so we can actually show the tracking
Yeah, I
because
don't know
that's
if we
the
can
thing that
API
keeps
it
them.
in because SEMrush is like super granular as far as like you have to get in there, you have to know what you're doing, you have to like set up the entire website and have it like search it in very specific ways. Because if you look, even on their demos, their demos are very carefully calculated. You're not going to get the same results that you see on their demos because they're demoing big companies who have lots of data. If you go to the Peoria Cafe in yeah, the Peoria Cafe in Peoria, they're not going to get results on SEMrush. If you go to a dentist, if you go to a restaurant, unless it's like a big chain, you're not going to get results on there like they're touting. So be careful in your expectations because most of the companies we work with, that I work with, and I work with some pretty big companies, they don't show up at all. And
Okay,
they're
so
billion dollar companies, which isn't that big, $1 billion now. But it's still, it's big enough where you think they would show up, but they don't
so
at all.
you have to be really, really big for them to show up in their results because they don't track everybody. They just track the big boys.
Well,
What
I
about
think
the
they track the ones that they have the information for, and the information they have for it are usually for companies that have tons of visitors, tons, like millions of visitors.
okay, then the other one that the other guy the I'm having a brain fart here. The guy that the other SEO guy, the bald-headed SEO guy from India, supposedly
Neil Patel.
Patel, yeah, he
Yep.
supposedly has where if you type a question about your business that it will show you on his website whether or not you're coming up in the AEO responses as people are trying to make that distinction, which I think is a false distinction. But couldn't you just go into ChatGPT and type it in and see if you're showing up?
Yeah, that's
And
the best way to
again,
do it, is just type it in.
let's not get off track here, Richard. This is a training about our software, not everyone else's software.
I know. I was just trying to
And
see
that
where the
that
compatibility was because
we'll address that stuff when we get into the, how
Yeah.
to run this as a business. This
The
is how
short
to
answer is
run
that
the
Neil Patel
software.
and SCM Rush are the only ones I know that know how to do that so far. So, and I
okay, good
think that
enough.
Neil fakes it,
I
honestly.
thought that would work in progress. So I'm out, John. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no.
Okay,
As soon
no
as we figure
problem.
it out, we'll make it available for sure. I'll
All
call
right.
Neil and ask him how he does it. He's a nice guy.
All
Um,
right, Diane, go ahead.
let me show you one thing now that we're on this page right here. This is new functionality in here because what we found is that when it generates these FAQs, the company came back, the large company that we're working with, and they're like, hey, on these 5 pages, we have our engineers that went out and did their own FAQs on the pages because they own the products, kind of a thing. So they were personally invested. We went through there, we nuked all of our FAQs and we added custom FAQs that they built for us. So we put this functionality in here for all you guys. So now you can come in here and you can edit it. You just click on here, you can edit anything in here to make it more robust or whatever. You can come in here, you can delete the ones you don't like, and you can also add new custom ones. So this gives you complete flexibility on what is showing up on the client's website. And like one thing that we found a few times is that a lot of the pages don't have a lot of text on it. So the FAQ generator, which it's ChatGPT right now, right? We're going to be introducing some other frameworks in here to do this, like Anthropic for the writing stuff, because I think they write better. Anthropic does with Claude. So anyway, for right now, when this writes it, which is pretty good, sometimes it's repetitive because it kind of uses the general website information and just kind of says, what do they do? What's this about? And if it shows up the same on 4 pages, you might want to mix it up a little bit and just add in a few meaningful FAQs. And so we allow you to kind of do that. And then at that point, when you get done with it, you have two choices. You can either jump over to the website and go to here and click on Sync Now. See this button up here? I know it's kind of small, but under the AI optimization, and you click on Sync Now right here, it'll bring in all your changes and it'll update it immediately. Or just wait for the week, just let it ride, and then a week later it'll just like sync itself and it'll sync the site. So if you're in a hurry, just let it go and it'll fix itself. And on the schema, we don't really need to edit the schema here because you copy it as text and you can just put it into like a text document. Like for instance, if you're looking at the schema and you're like, I want to put this in Peoria. I want to put in Peoria and Chandler, Arizona, because maybe they have 2 different locations or whatever. So you can copy the schema, make the changes, and then upload it into the website, that kind of a thing. So. For here, we haven't really found a real good reason to edit this. We haven't really needed to yet. So if we find we need to in the future, we'll make it editable here and save
And
it.
that just adds to any existing schema on the page, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So having 2 sets of schema, in fact, that's a great question. What about a custom or a website that already has like maybe a schema builder and that kind of thing? So if that's the case, put them both on there because they work in conjunction with each other. It doesn't hurt a thing.
Okay, so what you're saying, if there's schema on the page already and you added more schema, it's not going to hurt it.
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay,
They work friendly with each other.
good, good.
Mhm. And That's about it. I mean, it's pretty much the same as the last video that we did because it wasn't that long ago. It was about a week ago when we created that last video, which is right here under tools and training and training and resources, and then the WordPress plugin. So I'd go and watch. I get actually the last recording and the WordPress together if you want a little bit more in depth there. But pretty much it's just analysis here, analyzing the AI and the SEO separately, so you can kind of see like how good am I doing on SEO. This is like basic SEO stuff right here. You can see it's really good on a few pages, and the others, not terrible, but not that great. So anyway, there's some good information here on, oops, let me click this right here. What do I do on this page? There's some good information here if you just need a quick reminder. And what do I do next? Which is always a good question. Like, okay, I've done this SEO analysis. What do I do now? Okay, now we need to continue to reporting because the reporting is the next logical step. So these can help you as well.
Yeah, it's a very intuitive flow through the system. I just went through it this morning and it worked just like the training video. So
Great.
so let's hit Diane, Kate, and Anissa,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up for today. So Diane, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you great.
Awesome. I'm on two different computers, one for sound and one for video, so I
All good.
apologize. So I love this, and I also just love what you showed us about adding even more FAQs that maybe we wanted to write. So kudos for that.
Thank you.
Really excited to use this. I jumped in, and I don't have any clients yet, but I have a couple people I wanted to run their sites and see what they said. And I got to admit, maybe I'm doing something really, really wrong, but I've watched all the videos. I watched the 2 hour launch one at least 3 times, but watched the green go through. It took like 6 to 8 hours each time. And I ran both of them twice because it would skip. It would do AI analysis and show green, and then it would go gray, and then it would show green again. But when I went to the actual analysis, it said not analyzed. Or when I run the report, it says not analyzed. So I did put in a couple tickets. I don't know how to check on my tickets. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, if it's
Um,
not analyzed in here, you can choose a recheck in here, or it won't even say recheck as if it's not analyzed. Because sometimes when there's a lot of them, like when I just did one that had 500 pages, there was 11 of them that it skipped. I don't know why. It just skipped
yeah,
11 of
no,
them. So I just go down there and I just like click the buttons on those 11
none
and
of mine did it. Like they were all not analyzed, or they say analyzed here, but when I did the
Mhm.
report, it said not analyzed, and I'm like,
Okay, I'll take a
I
look
don't
at
get it.
those. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so just submit a ticket and I'll take a look at those and work with those individually and kind of see what
Okay, do you want me to do another ticket? I put in
happens.
two.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. You're
And
good.
if you want to reach out to me, Chris, I can show you. I've got screenshots and whatever else. I'm happy to help
Okay.
do what I want to. The other thing is two more. Sorry, on tickets. If I could make a suggestion, if you
Mhm.
could have a place to upload screenshots, I thought that might be helpful. I was trying to write everything out, but when you
We
do a
we do
ticket, there's no
have
place
that.
to actually. You got it.
You can
And
upload
then
the
You can
screenshots of the
upload, like
ticket.
our ticketing system has the ability to upload. So just look a little bit carefully. It's maybe down at the bottom, or I can't remember exactly where it is.
interesting.
It's a
I'm very sorry. I missed that. I
Okay.
apologize.
it's under
Yeah. No,
And then could you
attachments.
show us where we can go and manually do, you know how we talked about it's coming, like the widget to do like a competitive report to show if they pass fail, but you said
oh,
we could do that
yeah.
here.
So
Would you mind
basically,
showing
I'm
that? I can't
rebuilding that
find
whole process right now. So hold off on the competitor analysis, which is on
it.
the front page right here. It's like it's kind of broken right now because I'm rebuilding the whole thing. It's going to be awesome when you see it. Wait till you see it. So
Nice.
give me about another 2 or 3 days, and we'll send out like an email and let you guys know. But we've rebuilt it from the ground up on this one, so I think
That's
you're gonna
fantastic.
really like it. So
Okay.
yeah,
The only other thing I had was I didn't realize I know with the agency we have 20 websites.
mhm.
But like I said, I ran these couple of, and they're very large sites a couple of times. And I've got the usage like it's like you're about out of space. I'm like, what? I did two sites, but I did them 2 times each. So
Oh.
is that,
Yeah, if you go through here and just make sure you delete the ones that you're not using. So you might have them in here twice, which it'll let you do. You can put like legacy pest control in here twice. Just make sure you keep the one you want and delete the other one, and then it'll free up the space for you.
yeah, I didn't do a second business. I ran it twice because it just kept not running.
That's
Like,
fine. You should be able to run it dozens of times. I don't think we have a limitation on that.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
another question that you just brought up about deleting it. Now, for an example, if you have the agency license and you have over the websites, can you have a button here that pauses it instead? So if maybe that client comes back, you can just put it right back on instead of at building it all up again. Can that be done?
You know, we considered doing that, but really it's kind of it's really not necessary because it only takes a few minutes to rerun it again. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are really we really going to keep? Maybe some um, FAQs and you know, like marking them as being completed or whatever. But if they stop you using it, you're going to have to kind of start over anyway. So we kind of on purpose didn't really do a pause thing because it just adds more complexity. We'd just rather just like get rid of them, and then if they come back on board, you're like, great, spend 10 minutes and you know rescan their website and you can start over from where they are.
All right,
What I'll do, Chris,
just so we can keep the time down, let's finish up with the people that have their hands up,
Yeah.
and
Let's do
let's
let's
knock
do let's
these.
do two more questions and then I gotta jump to another meeting.
Yeah, go ahead, Kate. You got to unmute.
Still can't hear you.
We're not hearing you.
All right, let's come back to Kate. Let's do one more.
Anissa, go ahead.
Okay, I had two questions. Just a side point. If you have a testimonial page, wouldn't you want those to have schema so they'd be read by AI? Because I know
Schema,
that's big on
yes.
the authority.
FAQs, no. That's correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then for reports, if I have a client and I want to give them the full report with all the details,
Mhm.
is there a way can I download that? Because I tried to do that for a client and it looked like it had to come to
Yeah,
the website, to the dashboard to do that.
you do right now. It would be like a 50-page report and it would be so big it becomes a little bit unruly. Like you couldn't email it to a client because it wouldn't fit in an email. So it just created a lot more problems than helping because it's a really long report. So there's a couple of things we've been considering, which is making it a virtual report so that like you could send them a link and it would just show them the report. And so
That
they
would be
could kind of
amazing.
look at it that way. So we've been considering a couple things, but we haven't really landed on what we want to do yet. But
Okay.
I could have used it a few times too myself, but it's just unruly how big the reports get.
Okay. Well, I look forward to when you come up with something.
All right. Yeah, it's on the radar for sure.
Okay, can
All
you hear
right,
me
Kate, you
now?
want to give one more try?
Can you hear
There's
me now?
Kate. Yep.
Okay, cool. Right, my issues were very similar to Diane's actually, and I've solved some of them whilst I've been on. Um, so my first scan that I tried to run, it just went on for 6,000 hours,
Mm.
or 6,000 minutes, whatever it was, um, and it
Yeah,
wouldn't
15
abort.
minutes, you should just cut it off and start it over again.
Well, I hit abort and it wouldn't. It said abort has failed. Anyway, during the call, when you taught us how to delete, I did that.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so I've now run that one. Actually, I haven't run that one again. I've put two others in today,
Okay.
and they've gone fine. This is just the analysis because without doing that, I couldn't even get to the WordPress part.
Okay.
So my next question is, I've gone back to the dashboard. I've just sort of re-entered, just come back to view one of them again because I wanted to see what these pending things were on the side.
Sure.
But now it's telling me that my website is queued for analysis again. Well, it was already done. So does that happen every time you come back into something
Yeah. So
on your dashboard?
on certain pages, it will reschedule the analysis on it. And
Okay.
sometimes I've noticed on one of them, I can't remember which one, it's actually a false reading. Like it's telling you that it's reanalyzing, but I've stopped it from reanalyzing, but it still tells you it is. So yeah, give me a little bit to figure out what that one is, and it's really not reanalyzing. It's probably just telling
Okay.
you it is. Yeah.
Okay. So just on the initial scan page,
Mhm.
on the right hand side it says pending. So it's only got 4 pages, and it goes through list the
So
4 pages,
is
and it
it
says pen
pending
up
like
because this is
over?
just
Oh, right here. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
no
This one
down.
says pending as well. Let me see, but it's definitely
Do you want me
complete.
to
I think
do
this is just a bug
you want
right
me
here.
to share my screen?
No,
Not
it's
there.
complete
It's
as
it's
well.
it's each line against each page.
Oh, right
So
here.
That's what
yeah,
mine
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah, there.
Oh, yeah,
That's
huh.
it.
You
for
know, this is the
hours.
first time I've
Submitting.
seen it. I'll have to look at that. I think it's a bug. Yeah, I think this is a bug up here, and I think this is a bug too. Because it
Okay.
obviously it's got the page, and if you look over here on the page vault, it's here as well, so it's done. So I'll
Okay.
go back there and look at it. I didn't notice it until just now. So thanks for pointing that out.
That's cool. I mean, that's what this beta testing is all
Oh,
about,
I
really,
know what
isn't
the
it?
pending
So,
is.
so,
The
oh yeah.
pending is this down here, all this extra information, the page size, the status, the response time, all that kind of stuff. Um,
Ah,
I need to go back in here and refill it. Like I built this all out and it's working for a while, and then I changed some stuff on how it happens in the reporting, and I come back here and make those same changes here. So I need
that's fair
this is a
enough.
good reminder to come back here and reapply the updates on this one right here. So once that happens, this will be completed on that side. So
Cool. And I like Diane, I also submitted a support ticket at the weekend, and
okay,
then I think it just went into the abyss. I mean, it's been solved now, so I think it's fine.
okay.
But when you
I,
just said, because I was agreeing with Diane about having the ability to upload screenshots,
I
Mhm.
see the
um,
problem with that. I,
it's,
I've
it's
I've figured out what the problem is with not being able to upload the screenshots. Chris, on the top of the site there, you've got a support button that's not going to the right support section.
Oh, really?
ah,
Under help, you've just got the basic page there, and then they can submit a ticket, but it doesn't go into our ticket system.
Oh, okay. I'll work with you, John, and get that going. I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what's happening here.
yeah,
yeah.
because that's what I clicked on. I expect Diane did the
Okay,
same.
Saying,
I see.
yay!
All right, I see. Okay,
Okay, this is what best beta testing is all about. So that's
all
great.
right.
I'll run some more over the next couple of days and see how I go. Thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you guys for being on with us today. This has been fun to meet with you guys. And let's go ahead and call it a day. So thanks, John, for
Thank
setting
you,
this up,
Chris.
and we're going to do this again shortly.
Hey,
Yeah,
Chris, real quick, when can I get up with you about resolving that 403?
I'll hit you up later today, and we can maybe meet tomorrow sometime. I got about 5 hours of meetings today.
Sounds good. You got my email, or can you get it from John?
Yeah. Do me a favor, type it in right for me real quick,
You
and
got it.
we'll keep in touch there.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.
All right, you bet.
Yep. See ya.
all right. Mary, did you have a quick one too?
Okay, I got you, Trav.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Is there any does the site have to be seasoned in any way for this to do an analysis? Can it be a brand new site?
Could be
It
brand new. Sure.
just has to be hosted.
Yep.
Okay, great.
And it really does work on any site. It doesn't have to be a WordPress site. Uh,
Right.
I know Russ was asking about training for non-WordPress sites, and it's really there isn't any necessary training for that. It's basically it's generating all the files for you, and you would just copy and paste that into whatever site you're using.
Can you just do a video that shows how to copy and paste those videos or how to get them out?
I could do a video how to copy and paste.
No, I don't mean copy and paste, like how to get them, where to get the files.
Oh yeah, it's all in the training already. You can see where all that stuff is, where to access it.
Yeah,
Well,
I saw
the
the
only
files in there,
training
but is there a way to I get okay, all right.
the only training
Yeah, I'm gonna
that I
duck
can
out here.
see
I'll let you take it
is
over,
the
John.
WordPress
Okay, Chris.
video.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So so yeah, as
The only
far
training I can find is the WordPress video. Everything else, the document links go to nothing.
yeah, that's
Same.
the thing is Chris built a bunch of stuff in the program itself that really shouldn't be in there. We have our members site, and the members site really is meant for the training and support. So we need to go through the actual app and clean it up and get all that stuff out of there. Like you saw, there was a support site in there that goes to nowhere, and you can't upload anything. So we need to go through and kind of clean everything up. And this has been a real whirlwind putting this thing together and knocking it out. So he's been doing his stuff on his side. I've been doing my stuff on my side, and we need to come together in the middle and just like anything else. You guys have been with me for a long time. We put these things out and it's like a bomb, and It works its way out. Any kind of software development, it's always a process. But we really appreciate you guys, being on here with us and helping us work through and find all the bugs and so far so good. I mean, when I went through this morning, I took a brand new fresh site and I don't think I was on it. It couldn't have been more than 30 minutes to do the entire thing. And it wasn't a big site. It was like I think it was about a 20-page site. But it did all the optimization, all the analysis, installed the WordPress plugin, synced it up, put the FAQ code in the pages, and done. And it was probably about a half hour, less than a half hour, probably. So I know it's all working, but it's not ideal. I know we're not to the point of ideal yet, but we will get there. And I know we're going kind of long on this particular training, but I'll do separate trainings for those of you that want to run this as a business. That's a whole different animal. We got to get down the training just on the basic process first. But then, any of you that want to run agencies, I'm very well versed in running agencies. I don't plan on doing that for this myself, but I'll help any of you that want to do that. So, Travis, did you get all fixed up there?
Uh, yeah, I mean, my only other question, I guess, was just about potentially scraping captions files. I'd like just to hear a little bit more about how he's actually scraping the data from our WordPress sites, if there's a table that he's scraping, or he says he's not rendering the page itself. I mean, I don't know if most visual builders work with post meta, but sort of the wheels are spinning as far as getting this to work with my application and that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So,
I'm actually not sure how he's pulling the data out of WordPress because, as far as I knew, the page almost has to get rendered.
right. Yeah. I mean, especially if it's a visual builder that's storing,
Yeah,
text in a completely different table. Like Optimized Press uses all WP post meta and it's all in JSON anyhow. So
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
even a legible format for a normal back end scraper. You'd have to render the page first. But it
yeah,
seems like it's using some compute as it is. So,
yeah,
it might very well do that.
yeah. He may not have exactly understood your question the way you were putting it across.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that page has to get rendered for him to pull the data for the analysis.
Right. Right.
So, and
Which
and to
means like a
your
bot has to crawl it, render the page, and
yeah,
then kick that back into whatever two WordPress tables
yeah.
he's customized for the site.
Now I know one of the things that he's doing that I thought was very unique was when the page is rendered, it's actually cached on our servers.
Oh, that's cool.
So that way when he goes back to redo stuff, he's not having to re-render the entire site.
Right. Right,
So he's
right.
only having to sync it.
Unless you clear the cache, right? I mean, is there a way to do that?
Yeah, you could do that in well, if he's pulling it out and putting it in our cache, even if you flush the cache on the site, that wouldn't affect our end.
Right. So then how do you deal with page updates? I mean, is there some kind of like checksum
It's
where
doing it every week. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And then
So
there's
it's a week.
also
The cache expires in a week.
yeah, and there's the regen right on the page itself. So if you wanted to manually force it, you would just regenerate the thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. All right, Shima.
Okay, hi John. Yeah, I have a challenge in general analysis. I sent a request to support. So the general analysis, it is not letting me go past that stage. So I sent a request in support ticket.
Okay, is it stuck? Because there's been several that got stuck, and Chris's basically what he came back with was just try and delete it and start it over, and usually it'll go past that.
Okay, I did that. I know your feedback then was to delete. I did that.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not still working. So probably I might need help on how to clear the cache.
Okay. And this is something that he's fixing today, where originally you had to force it, you had to push it from one analysis to the next. It didn't
Yeah.
automatically just go through and do the whole thing.
Hmm.
So it would do one, and then you'd go to the next step and generate that report and generate the next report, and so on. But what Chris was saying is he's automating that to where after today, when you start the report, it'll automatically go through those first four sections.
Okay.
And then after that point, you have to manually generate your FAQs and then also the schema. And when I say manual, it's just click the button
Okay.
to generate those.
But the error messages, I don't understand what it means. I had to take a screenshot of the error code, right?
Okay. Yeah, so put that in the ticket. If you've already got the ticket in, he'll look at it and
Okay.
see if he
It's
can
there.
figure it
It's there
out.
already.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he'll be looking through those today.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, I think you said we have till the end of the year to sign up for the special, right?
Yeah, yeah, we've got the pricing, we've got our Black Friday pricing, and we're probably going to run that through the end of the month.
Okay, and how for because that's the tier I plan on joining. I'm just about to go to Spain. So,
Okay.
before I dive in, my thought process was kind of like, should I go through the ACT program and kind of figure out what kind of clients I want to target, even though it seems like everybody could benefit from this that has a website?
Yeah,
Should
that's
we
pretty much
niche
right.
down?
Well,
Or maybe I
anybody,
talk to local businesses.
the thing is, and this goes back to the ACT program, anybody with a website could benefit from this. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean that's your ideal customer.
right.
So, you can probably take about three-quarters of the websites in the world and throw them out the window as far as an ideal customer. So, not
Who
everybody,
actually has business, who's
yeah, yeah.
maybe starting to struggle with all the
Like,
competition and
yeah, like an ideal customer for this is somebody that's paying for SEO, somebody
okay.
that has the Google My Business page up. Because, there's a ton of websites that don't have a Google My Business page, and that tells you right there, they're not really serious. But anybody that's trying to get business to their website and active about it, yes, this is ideal for them.
Okay. And then how often are you guys planning on having meetings for the the um em-
As often as necessary.
okay.
We'll probably do three or four right out of the gate. And then, after that is, maybe monthly.
Okay.
So
And
just,
they'll be recorded like this. So if
mhm.
you have
Yeah,
some away.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm really on the edge on this one. I don't want to do it, but I'm probably going to do it anyway. I'm probably going to do another SEO training. And I know I said I was clear of that, but I think I probably need to do another one. I used to do that. I would do a big event once a year called SEO Reboot, and it always amazed me. People would come out, they'd fly to me from all over the world to go through that event. And we would literally say, okay, just throw out everything you thought you knew about SEO, and I'm going to tell you from here, from scratch, from right now, today. This is what it is. And I do that every year. And I have the last one of those I did was like probably 2019. So yeah, I'm probably overdue for it. And and Chris really with the level of detail that he put into these reports, he's got stuff in there that's stuff that, he and I are probably some of the only ones on the planet that even know about. And it's not even stuff that normal SEO people ever have done. but it's stuff like I used to describe SEO as like an abacus. You got all these beads on the thing, and some of the beads are much bigger than others. So if you move one of those beads over, you got a lot of weight on that side. Well, there's a bunch of those beads that you can move hundreds of them and it won't do anything. And I never, I never wanted to really get into that level of the weeds because they just weren't that important. But now he's stuffed a bunch of those into this report. So I'm at least going to have to answer what they are. So I probably will be doing that soon, even though I don't really want to. All right. Daryl, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
One quick comment from the sales point of view. The
Yeah.
ads for the Black Friday discounts,
Hmm.
none of the ads are showing an expiration date, and that's not addressing people's fear of loss. So might
Well,
want to have those on there, then can always extend them type thing. That's not the reason what I put my hand up for, but I just have
yeah,
to think about that.
yeah, the only, I mean, I'm not really concerned with that. You guys are the only ones that we're really even opening this up to so far. You guys
Okay.
are the only ones that are going to get that pricing. Yeah, when we roll out and we do our first webinar, it will be different pricing and it won't be quite so favorable. You
Right.
guys, are kind of under my wing always, and you get first crack at everything and, best pricing and all
Appreciate
that
that.
stuff. So I'm not here to try and like force you guys and make urgency and all that stuff. It's like,
Well, I was thinking of people that we're trying to sell it to.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. In fact, for you guys, you don't really need to do special pricing. There's so many people that you're going to be able to service that don't have access to this or anything like it. There's
Okay. I'm
there's
not I'm not being clear on my comment.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to recruit other marketing companies, digital marketers into the program.
Oh, gotcha, for the
Those
affiliate.
are the ones where it comes up to, well, if you do it now, it's this. If you
Yes,
wait, which is
yes.
mine, it's going to be
Yeah, yeah. We're not really quite ready for that yet because I haven't even put a legitimate webinar together yet.
right.
And
Understand.
when we do, that's where that will come into play.
Okay.
The
What I
webinar.
put my hand up for, talk about downloading, I'm visualizing the situation where you have a client, it's not on WordPress, you're not doing the website, and there's reluctance either on their part or who's doing the website to help you get that widget or whatever uploaded to their site. They're going to, first of all, the other company's going to try to keep you from being successful, and they're going to try to hijack that customer back from you by saying, "Oh, that stuff don't work. We got this, and we'll lower our price."
Yeah, no, I've got a whole strategy for how to sell it. I've got a whole strategy for who to sell it to, how to sell it, whether it's a WordPress site, whether it's not. And even if you want to deal with those people, there's ways to sell to them and not have it come back and bite you.
Okay.
So when we do
So
the
we
when we
download it as a notepad file.
you can download the files any way you want. Like if you're talking about the reports, they're PDFs. So you can
No, I'm
convert
talking about literally the LLM and
that's
those
just
types
text.
that they have to
Yeah.
load onto their website.
Yeah, that's just a text file. So
Okay,
you
just
can
text
use
file.
that in Notepad or
Okay,
Word or TXT, whatever.
okay, all
But
right. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, Travis, back to you.
Yeah. Hey, John. So, okay, I must have missed this back when you were originally talking about Optimancer. You have on every single page, it generates the AI schema, which is basically like meta tags for AI, right?
Yep.
And then you have the FAQ. Could you go and that's all it does, right? And it generates that for every single page that it scrapes on the site.
Yes, and then it also creates a site-wide LLMS file.
Okay. Can you real quick hit me with the general benefit of the FAQ for each page?
Yeah, FAQ is really the kind of content that AI looks for. AI is very different in than search. Like a search engine is looking for keywords. A search engine is trying to find out what content is most relevant to any given keyword. So that's very much a machine type of thing. With AI, AI is trying to have a conversation with you, and it's going much more deep into its meanings of that conversation. And for it to find an answer for you, the content that it finds most relevant is called answer first content. And it's basically it's answering questions because it's getting questions. Like if you think about that, when you go to an AI, you're asking it questions,
Right.
right? So it's going out and it's looking for the answers. So if you've got questions that match its answers, then you are the content that it's going to reference.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very different perspective from how it works.
Hmm.
So they call it answer first technology. It's looking for the answers versus looking for relevant, other stuff like Google is looking for.
Got it. And the site-wide LLM file?
Yeah, that is similar. Like that would compare an SEO to a robots TXT file. It's like the file that's in the index folder that a machine is going to look at first and it gets instructions from that. So, like with a robots text file, it's telling what robots to spider the site, what parts of the site to stay out of, what sites or what parts of the sites should be indexed, should not be indexed, shouldn't even be looked at. With the LLM file, that's a file specifically made for AI engines. And it's telling them how the site's put together, where to find everything. It's kind of like an index.
Interesting.
And if they don't have that, it's like it would be like a library without a set of index cards. You got all this content, but there's no way to effectively categorize it.
Yep. Okay.
And that's the schema as well. Schema is it's for categorization of content. That's why it's unique to each page. Because it's like I always use this example. I just found this one fascinating. Those, any word can have multiple meanings. So I use the word cougar as my example. Cougar could be a 1970s automobile, right? It could also be an animal that could attack you in the hills, or it could be a woman of a certain age. Now, if you're dialing up content for a user, you might want to make sure you give them the right content, or it could be embarrassing. So the schema kind of separates that stuff into what the category content is about. Like if your schema said this is an automotive site, then we're pretty clear a Cougar is a 1970s vehicle.
Got it.
Yeah. If it's a wildlife site, we're pretty much talking about an animal here. If it's adult content, we know what kind of cougar we're looking at. So that's where schema comes in. It just makes things very clear and discernible.
John, I
Yeah.
want to start. I've always wanted to start. Well, since I was a certain age, I wanted to start a website called Cougar's Corner and sell shoes, really cool shoes for older women
Well, you would use schema then, and they would know
to
what
make
you were
sure
all
they
about.
knew it's
Yeah.
not an adult site, it's shoes for older women.
Yeah. Yeah. They would figure it out. Cougar wear.
I love it.
John, did I hear right? The LLM is site-wide, it's not by individual page.
Yes, there is one LLM file for your site, just like a
Okay,
robots TXT file, and it should be in your index folder.
gotcha. Thank you.
So that's the main core folder where your homepage lives. So I knew I was going to get back eventually to training SEO. But but yeah. All right. Anything else before we wrap up? Everybody have fun today?
I had fun. Hey, John, I have one completely non-AI, old school SEO question. If you have a minute, I realize it's been a long call. Everyone's
Yeah.
probably a little tired.
We'll see if I know the answer.
Okay.
See if you can stump me.
So I get caught up in the minutia sometimes with trying to use specifically YouTube videos that also like would double as an organic video, but as an ad. So I did this with a knife defense ad that worked extremely well. And since I ran, since I sent 7 or 8 million people to the ad itself, that organic video also got 7 or 8 million views, and therefore it ranked really high for whatever the title tag was of the video itself.
Hmm.
Where it gets a little bit more complicated, though, is that you have, if you want to tell people, how to go to your mini course or whatever you're trying to give them, you want to call them to action. But the call to action depends on the platform on which they're watching the video. If it's on mobile, the button is underneath the video. If it's on desktop, the button's right on the video. If it's an organic video, depending on if it's on mobile or desktop, they might have to click the link in the video description down below. But if it's an ad, that link in the video description is actually for the person's video that you're a pre-roll ad on, if that makes sense. So if I'm putting a knife defense ad out there and it's a pre-roll ad for somebody else's knife defense video, if they click on whatever link is down there, they're going to get to the other guy's website,
Correct.
if
Yes.
that makes sense. So I've been trying to grapple with having sort of a reasonably accurate or like multi-functional call to action to get people to be able to click on stuff while also being able to have an actual organic video. Because again, it's nice to have those little SEO mainstays that'll sit there on the top of the search traffic, at least for a while. But like everything else, there's a dated relevancy to it. So where I used to own the search term how to win a street fight, after a while, when that video is 15 years old, it doesn't rank as well anymore. And there's new stuff that people are watching in little bursts, and then those things rank. So I'm wondering if I'm putting like too much thought into this, or if you think that I should do a specialized ad for each device so the call to action can be more accurate, or is gathering up those 10 million views on an organic video, like should that be the goal? Like well,
Yeah.
I'm paralyzed by analysis on this.
Well, the more activity you get on any asset, the more popular it's going to get in any platform. That's the way the algorithms are ranking. So I would think that you would be best to funnel all that to a certain place.
Yeah.
Like even like wherever that core video is, if it's on YouTube, you can spread that video all over the place. You can put that like even on your website.
Hmm.
And you can drive people over to view it on YouTube, even though they're viewing it in a window on your website. That's what I always used to do. I would keep it in a window on my website so they stayed. Like I got the view credit for my website page, but I also got the view credit on YouTube because they were viewing it in an iframe on the website.
Yeah. My understanding with that is you don't get a one-to-one view ratio. You might get like for every 4 embedded plays, you might get one actual on-site view. But
Yeah,
also, if
yeah,
those users aren't signed up for YouTube Premium, whether you have ads enabled or not, they're going to hit you with pre-roll ads.
yeah,
So if it's like real, like if it's truly sales content where I want to be driving people to my stuff, I don't want them seeing a progressive ad, so to speak. Right.
yeah.
But I'm thinking more in terms of just like the ad itself. It seems like what you're saying is it might be best to try to take an organic video and make some sort of generic call to action. Hey, click the button on or under the video, or look for the button, dude. Find the button, click it.
Well, if it's in an ad, like what you were saying, if it's coming up after someone else's video or after someone else's ad and they're controlling that page it's on and you telling them to click the button, they might be clicking the button onto something else.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, that's so any button that they're going to see is going to be on my video. I run into trouble when it's if I'm referencing a link in a video description box.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
that's when it's problematic. But
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, well, if they're watching on mobile, I can't say, hey, click the button under the video because maybe they'll think it's the link on the other guy's video.
Yeah. You
You
know,
know, does
another,
the iPhone even support buttons that pop up anymore with the YouTube cards or whatever?
yeah, and there was some guys on Perry's team that proved this out that type in traffic is one of the best, one of the most powerful sources, even beyond clicking on links. You know, you can have the anchor text link and you can drive a lot of traffic through the anchor text links. And it's back to like the abacus that is moving a certain size bead across the board. But if you do type in traffic, it's a bigger bead
Wow.
to move across the board.
Because they really wanted to get to that content.
Yeah, yeah.
They
And
typed in a
that's,
semicolon and two forward slashes.
yeah, exactly. That's why site pop has been so incredibly powerful over the years because it leverages type in traffic all day long.
Hmm.
And, you know, that's not something we normally talk about, but, you know, that is a big, big factor. Type in traffic, you know, and again, it's back to the beads. It's just, it's a big bead on the board. If you can move
John,
that
could you
bead,
define type in traffic?
type in traffic is like if you're watching, say you're watching Travis's video and it comes up and instead of giving you something to click on, it says go to kickass.com. Now, for them to go to kickass.com, they have to pull up a browser window and type in kickass.com. That's type in traffic. They're typing it going direct. That is like fire for search algorithms.
Hmm.
That means you really wanted it. It was meaningful. You didn't just randomly click something. You went out of your way to get there.
Yeah, you can't bot click type in traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the bots, there was a lot of guys that tried to replicate what we did with SitePop, and they would use bots and they would paste in the traffic. Well, that's not the same as type in traffic.
Hmm.
Like when we did it in SitePop, we were actually keystroking in, just like type in traffic. And we were randomizing the intervals in between the keystrokes, just like a human. We were actually making mistakes and backspacing and fixing them and moving forward. Everything that a human does. That's why SitePop was never trackable, was never identified.
Hmm.
And that thing's still working today after, you know, we started that in like 2011. There's still a lot of agencies using that software that say they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Fascinating.
So,
It
yeah.
makes me wonder if I should update my domain name at some point. I mean, back in the day, having any kind of keyword match was awesome. But howtofight.com wasn't available, so I was howtofightnow.com. You know, but like, damn, I almost feel like I should do a branded. I mean, somebody owns fightsmart.com though, and they try to sell me that thing every year for like 30 grand.
Uh,
And I'm like, buddy, I'll give you 500. And
yeah.
otherwise it's trademarked, so you ain't selling it to anybody anyhow. I don't know. I don't know. But it'd
Yeah,
be nice to be like, hey, you know, fightsmart.com, because I can see in my search reports all of the misspellings of
yeah,
my URL, you know, and it's more common than I want it to be, that's for sure. But
yeah.
forget
Well,
that now in the end.
yeah, you can buy all those misspelled domains and just, you know, forward them all in.
Well, I can't buy howtofight.com because that's probably even more expensive than Fight Smart.
Yeah, yeah. But if there's any common misspellings, you can always redirect those.
Yeah.
Like for internet dominators, I would can't even tell you how many people don't know how to spell dominators. They spell it ORS, ERS, with and without the S. So I just got them all and made it easy. It's like you spell it however you want, you're still going to get there.
Just 301, all of them. Huh. I like it. All right. Well, I'll try to multi-purpose that video. And now that you mentioned this, I'll also pop up the URL as a text block on the
Oh,
bottom.
absolutely. Yeah, I would pop that up early and often.
Yeah.
And another thing too, like your video, say it's a 15-second video or 30-second or 2 minutes, whatever it is, add like 30 seconds onto the end of it. I know you might not be able to do that with ads necessarily, but the longer you leave that up, the more effective it is. And there was a guy, I forget his name, but he was really good at making video marketing. And he would pop up like the visit, yada, yada, yada.com, whatever it was. And he'd leave that thing up there for like 20 seconds. And then he would like peek from behind the screen and say, "Are you still here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Type it in." And then he'd disappear for another 15 or 20 seconds. And then he'd come back again and stick his head in and go, "Really? What are you waiting for?"
Yeah. Well, you need that because, think about our own attention spans. If you
Yeah.
put that video right when it ends, you're going to see all the related videos pop up. You're going to see everything else that your algorithm wants you to see. So if you don't have that little post roll of 30 seconds where they're supposed to be abiding by the call to action, they are going to get distracted by something else, which may or may not be more tantalizing than whatever
Yeah.
you're offering. The only trade-off is like you do get bonus points for people who watch that video 100%. 100% completion rate is a better user metric, but you
Yeah.
suffer for click-through traffic.
Yeah, but he would keep doing more and more outrageous stuff to keep them on longer, like what you're talking about. And the best one I saw him do was after two or three times of him coming and interrupting you, he threw his feet up on the desk and he leans back in his chair and like he's watching you, like, "Okay, I'll wait. I'm not going anywhere." And then
Pull
it's like
pull out the
15,
cell phone, start recording you.
yeah, like 15 seconds goes by and it looks like he nods off and then he falls out of the chair. The whole chair just goes ass over tea kettle.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good idea. That's a
I
good
mean,
idea. Add something a little funny back in
yeah,
there.
it was classic.
Wander back on screen with a sandwich. Like, oh, hey, still there. Yeah.
That
All
was
John,
right.
can
Well,
I just ask something again? So the one that didn't work at the weekend, I've just run it, and it's amazing. So really good stuff. It's 132 pages. Now I've run it for this guy because I know him well. He's been a client in the past, and I was talking to him a few weeks ago, and he told me that he was wanting to come up in the AI results.
yeah,
And he's got his guy, his techie guy, working on that now. So, some things they've done well. He's implemented stuff, and there's other stuff that's not. And it's WordPress. So I know you don't want to talk about sales, and it's not really about sales. It's just so if I go to him and say, "Look, your guy's doing really well, but there's all these things. Now I can help you and give you the information so that he can carry on doing it, or we can put in this WordPress plugin and it'll just do it for you." That's right, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. The
Cool.
biggest draw to this is going to be visibility. With AI, it's not about rank. You got to
Yeah,
throw that out the window. It's not about you're not selling rank, you're selling visibility.
yeah.
In the
He
report,
understands that.
yeah, the general report is kind of like a pass or fail. It's like you're visible or you're not. And if you're not, that's where you have the ability to make a sale. And you've got, like for me, the way I'm going to teach on this is there's two ways. You can take the easy road or you can take the hard road. The
Yeah.
easy road is just to accept customers that either have a WordPress site and want you to do it, or the customers that have their own team and you can sell them a report and let them go on down the road with it. Tell them I can give you a report. It'll tell you everything you need to know. It'll give you all your FAQs. It'll give you all your schema. It'll give you your LLM file. Your team just has to plug it in, and then it'll give you a full guide on all the other stuff you should fix and address. And you can sell that report for 500 to $1,000 easy. Very easy. One-time sale, which I hate one-time sales. I love recurring. But if it's a difference between you putting 500 bucks in your pocket and, going down the road or not getting the customer, or entering into a situation where it's going to be a real pain in your ass and you're going to have to do a bunch of work to get the money, you know which road I'm going to take. You
Yeah,
know?
of course, yeah.
And and that, that's one customer. That's one type of customer. It's the one that's just hit it and forget it. You show them that they're not visible. You say, if you've got a team and you don't want me to do it, I can sell you the fix and your team can do it. It's done. One off. You're going to have a lot of people that don't have a team though. A lot
Mhm.
of people are going to have a WordPress site. They're not going to have a webmaster. And they're the ones that are ideal for you to say, if you have a WordPress site, what I can do, I'm not going to offer you a full SEO optimization service. All I'm going to offer you is the three main things to make you visible. And that's the LLM file. You can decide to tell them or not tell them, but it's the LLM file, the FAQs, and the schema. That will make them visible to AI search results. And the WordPress plugin does all of that with a couple of clicks.
Yeah.
And then you can have them keep paying you monthly. So as an agency, you could scale that up with very, very minimal effort, very minimal employees. Like you could literally just do it yourself if you didn't want to hire anybody, or you could hire one outsourcer. One outsourcer could probably take on 10 or 20 clients a day. If you could make those kind of sales numbers, they could probably keep up with you with one person.
That's cool. That's brilliant. I just wanted to just be 100% sure that I was on the right track. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah. But you want to key in on visibility. That's the thing that everybody's going to want. If they don't know it yet and they hear it, they're going to want it.
Yeah.
There's a
I
lot of
I
people.
his IT guy is outsourced. He dabbles in things. I don't think he's a real expert at anything. He's learned about this kind of stuff and he's trying to implement. But there's no LLMS file on his site.
Yeah, he
His
probably doesn't
schema,
even
yeah,
know what that is.
yeah, exactly.
And
So
and
yeah, this is
schema is different for AI.
mm,
There's different coding in the schema for AI. Now you could have schema for SEO on the site already, and it would look like, oh, well, they have schema. Well, they don't
mhm,
have AI schema. And with
yeah,
the WordPress plugin, it's not affecting their schema that they already have. They might have spent a lot of money to get schema for SEO. It's not going to affect that. It's just going to add what is needed on the end of it.
perfect. Thank you,
So,
John.
so you can have as much schema on a site as you want. You could have 5 different schema codes on a single page.
I am
Wow.
looking forward to speaking to Gary tomorrow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, we can go ahead. Oh my God, we've been on here almost 2 hours. I
Alan, you
apologize
there?
for that.
Hey, Alan Cook, can you hear me?
Hey, Alan, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. No, I'm retiring, man.
Talk about an old school SEO guy.
Yeah, well, it was funny that you talked about the guy popping out on videos. I don't know if you remember the Rick Raditz video.
Yep.
He sat down and ate Cheetos for an hour, just sitting in a chair, just eating Cheetos one at a time. He wanted to see how long people would last watching him.
The good
That was a
old days.
long time ago. I have a question. The plugin, you do it. How does it get tested to make sure it works? What do I do? Go to chat, go to Claude, and type in something and see if it shows up? Because I mean, anybody who uses it, I want to know. I don't want to think it works. I want to know it works.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
how is it tested?
So with the reporting, you run the report before you plug it in, right? And it'll show like what the site's deficient at. And then you can install the plugin, you run it, you generate the files for the schema and the
Schema.
LLM and all that. And then you can rerun the report, and then it will show the updated report with all that stuff green. Now, as far as like in real life, you could go over and it's just like SEO. It's going to take the AI engines a while to get you indexed and get you, in the system. But there's we just
Well, if you remember, back in the day, we could do smart pages, and within 24 hours, we could check, and our smart
yeah,
pages were there,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, you can see it right away. You can look at the code of the site and you can see it in there. I mean, you could see that it's working right away.
Yeah, but I'm saying but back in the day of smart pages, I could do smart pages on a particular keyword phrase or a series of keyword phrases, upload them, hit the what was the thing we used to use back in the day that would spider it or do whatever, ping it,
Yeah, yeah,
ping it all the time, and then the next day you would log in onto Google, and I could go to Google search bar and type in, chiropractors, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and
yeah,
my site would be number one.
yeah,
You know, within 24 hours, if not less sometimes.
yeah, yeah. With this, you could basically go to the search or to the AI and you could start asking the questions that your FAQs are
Yep.
answering.
Yep.
Another way too is to seed the AI with your actual website.
Yep.
You can go in there and you say, "Hey, are you familiar with www.alancuts.com?" And
Yeah.
then
Right.
it'll go out and it'll look at the site, and as long as the site's got the LLMs and got the schema and all that, it will
Yep.
it will make that a reference site.
Okay. But what I'm really interested in, we're like that close to going ahead and doing a relaunch of an old site that we've totally redone called Review Trust. You remember that from back in the day?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. I took it over, totally revamped it. It's third party um, review site. So you can't it's not like a Google or a Yelp where people can leave reviews for you that are your not your customers and or maybe they're your enemies. They don't like you, so you have to go through it. If you're a dentist, you want to use it because this way only your customers and only your clients
yeah, yeah,
are there, right? It's not your competitors leaving reviews for you. um and again, it's although it's built, the basic website is built on WordPress. Of course it's got it's got a whole app behind it and everything else that does all the other stuff. But I would just, think about ways to use it for that, for Review Trust.
yeah. Oh, that's
So,
really cool. For those of you that don't know, Alan is from FTC Guardian.
yeah.
And I know I've promoted that many times over the years. Him and Chip Cooper. Chip's the lawyer, and Alan's the brains behind the marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. We started FTC Guardian in 2000, October 2014.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know I still use it. It's the bottom of all my pages and all
Yeah.
my
The
people.
Chip has really gotten into the whole AI stuff, and we do our calls twice a month,
Yeah,
um, for our members, and a lot of it the last, say, a year and a half has all been specifically AI related. The legal
yeah,
aspect of
sure.
AI and all that. So he's right on top of all this AI stuff right now. So yep, yep.
That's
All right. Well, I
awesome.
appreciate it. I just got to say, I was out of town or out on the road, and I got back in. I thought, well, I'll click the link and see if you guys are still here. And if you are, then I'll log in and see what this is all about. So
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you showed up. Good to see you.
good to see you. How's fishing been?
Fishing's been awesome. We've been
Yeah.
we've been killing the halibut this year.
Sweet, man. Sweet. Yeah. I follow up on the photos. I watch you going out every now and then. One of these days, if I ever get to Huntington, we'll have to go out.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. Okay, everybody. Well, go ahead and wrap it up for today. We're right at the 2 hour mark here. So again, I apologize for going that long, but I'm going to cut like the first half of this into the actual training video, and then we'll put the other half in if anybody wants to watch it. But if you need to go back and watch, like the first half hour is pretty much when Chris did his thing and went through everything. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. The launch is often running just, within our community so far, but people like Alan will be coming in here and promoting it out to his his audience and all of our affiliates and all that. So we are close at hand. Could be a great new year.
Thank you, John.
All right, guys, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.
See you, John. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.